Hello and welcome to a special bonus edition of the Lancaster Farming Industrial Hemp Podcast. My name is Eric Herlock, and today we're going to be talking to Mike Mercadante from Right Coast Hemp in Manahawkin, New Jersey. I mentioned their Hempcrete workshop that's coming up in May. I mentioned that in the News Nuggets a couple of weeks ago. So I thought we'd talk to Mike and just find out what's going on over there in New Jersey. And because this is a special bonus episode, I'm not going to do all the other stuff. Okay, we're just going to have a quick shout out to our sponsors, IND Hemp in Fort Benton, Montana, Americhanvre Hemp here in Pennsylvania, King's Agriseeds here in Pennsylvania, Impactful Ventures up there in Massachusetts, the National Hemp Association, they're everywhere. And membership has its benefits. So who did I miss anyone? Forever Green up there in Canada, the Pennsylvania Hemp Industry Council, and a big shout out to Ray at SunRay Hemp up there in Alaska. And here we go. Let's talk to Mike Mercadante from Right Coast Hemp. Mike Mercadante from Right Coast Hemp. Welcome to the Lancaster Farming Industrial Hemp Podcast. How are you doing?
Good, man. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting to talk to a hempcrete builder from New Jersey, right? The Garden State. That's where you are right now in New Jersey, yeah?
Yeah, we're on the coast for the most part, a place called Manahawkin, which is right next to a more popular place called Long Beach Island.
Oh, yeah, LBI. I know it well.
Yes. Yep.
All right. Well, Mike, welcome. Why don't you just start with an introduction? Tell us who you are and what you're doing.
Sure. I am 68 years old. I've been around for a while, most people say. And I've been in the building industry for the last 24 years. I've been a teacher and a coach for about 45 years. And in the building industry, I built homes on Long Beach Island for about 10 years. And then I got into the environmental side of building. And I own a company called Dependable Environmental Protection, which deals primarily in mold work. We do mold testing and mold remediation.
Okay.
So back in 2012, I believe it was, when Superstorm Sandy hit the coast, the mold business flourished because of all the need for that. So it's been quite a while since I built anything. Really, the last 14 or so years have been mold work.
Okay.
And in regard to that, always reading the journals and seeing things that go on in the industry, along with the help of my partner, Kristen Santarelli, turning me on to the hemp world and coming to understand more about the hemp plant, this whole mold-free plant, which is pretty astonishing. Hemp is mold-free, it's pest-free, it's pretty much fireproof.
Hold on a minute. I want to stop you there. So you're talking about Hempcrete being mold-free, mold resistance, not the hemp plant itself, right?
Right, the building part of the plant,
the
the building industry is the Hempcrete, and it's also hemp insulation.
Okay.
I believe they both have, I think, the same qualities, the insulation and the crete.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up before we.
Yeah.
Because I've heard, there's always weird things you hear about. Oh, hemp can do this, hemp can do that, but I know hemp, the plant itself, can definitely get mold. I've seen, cannabinoid grows with lots of mold. So anyway, just wanted to.
And bugs too. So
bugs.
Yeah.
But the Hempcrete, it's, I think, a function of the lime as the binder that sort of gives a lot of those properties. Yeah.
Yep. So in the building industry, again, wanting to use products that are better, the hemp became a real understanding for me that this is a good way to go. Mm-hmm. So pretty much that's what we're focused on. Learning and educating people regarding the building industry and hemp.
Okay. And the business is called Right Coast Hemp. Like you said, you're in Manahawkin, New Jersey. And as I, doing some research on your company, I read about the Hemp Casita. So what is the Hemp Casita?
It started about a year or so ago. My again, Kristen, my partner, is amazing networking person. And in her networking world, she came across Kansas State University as one of the primary universities that work with hemp. Kansas is also a primary grower of hemp. And she met up with a fellow by the name of Michael Gibson, who is a professor there in the architectural department. And he had a graduate class that he was teaching. And Christian and he spoke about the idea of building a small shed like structure that can be used as an educational exhibit for hemp. Where the word casita came in, I kind of missed that part. It just became that after a while.
That's
It
Spanish for little house, right?
yeah. I learned that later on. I think that was Michael and Kristen came up with that, not
Okay.
I. So we donated money, about $10,000 grant to Kansas State University, and Michael and his students, graduate students, put together the casita. And basically, it's like I say, a shed-like structure with the ceiling and the walls built. The walls are built of hempcrete and studs. And what we did is we took a piece of the wall and left it open, didn't do a finish on it,
Sure.
so that people can see inside the wall and what it looks like. And then the ceiling had the hemp fiber insulation, and we left a piece of that open, so once again people could see into that. And he trimmed everything out in hemp wood.
Nice.
And then the flooring came from Kentucky, and the flooring was hemp flooring,
Okay.
hemp flooring. So the casita right now is in the Midwest, and it's going from place to place where people want to utilize it to as an educational exhibit to let the world know more about how industrial hemp can be used in the building market.
Right. And it's on a trailer, you said?
Well, it's not on a trailer, but that's how it eventually moves from place to place, is on a trailer.
Okay.
It sits alone on its own, and then when we need to move it, we load it onto a trailer.
Okay. And are the plans for that something that could be replicated elsewhere?
Yeah, we pretty much let people know that our company right now is it's in its second year, and we've chosen in 2024 to focus on education as a company. So we're also growing hemp this summer. We grew hemp last summer in Kansas. This summer we're growing hemp in New Jersey.
Cool.
But our primary focus is education. So we're allowing people to use the casita to move from place to place. And we also offer the opportunity, let's say somebody calls from Missouri and they want the casita there, and we give them a choice. You can ship it from where it is to you guys, or we can come and help you build your own.
Okay.
So it is available. The plans are available, or we can create a plan for what they want. And basically, it's kind of like a shed. You can buy a shed, and then we can fabricate the hempcrete into the walls and the hemp insulation into the ceiling. So it doesn't have to start from scratch. It can start from a small building as is, and we can then outfit it.
Okay. The one you have there out in the Midwest, what are the dimensions of it?
It's approximately between 7 and 8 feet wide and about 11 something long.
Okay. So you could live in it if you needed to.
It is like a little home.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the little houses that people are getting into nowadays.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not set up for that, but it could become that. And we could build a little home from hemp, as you can imagine.
Right. This reminds me of a project that I witnessed here in Pennsylvania back in 2019. It was Cameron McIntosh and Drew and Anna from Coexist Build. They're a design build company here in Pennsylvania. They created what they called the Hemp House on Wheels, and they built it on a trailer.
Right.
And when I first met those guys, I went to the farm where they were building it, and I conducted an interview with them inside the unfinished hempcrete structure. It was in their barn. It was cool.
Nice.
But their idea going into it was like, the same thing. Like, here's a perfect way to educate people, and like people don't know what it's like to walk into a hemp building, right? Because you process it on all of your senses. You go
Yes.
in and the sound changes and the smell changes and the
Mm.
airflow changes, temperature change, and you feel all of these things. But how do you explain that to somebody without, experience is the best teacher, right? So
Yes.
yeah, so what you're doing there, like let people walk into it,
Yeah.
let them, experience the goodness of hemp. So I love what you're doing, and I think it's a great idea.
Last year we had a really nice situation where we moved the casita from Kansas State University in Manhattan, Kansas, to the Kansas State Fair, and we displayed it at the fair for a week.
Okay.
And everything you just said is exactly what happened. People would come along. We talked to them on the outside about it. Some of the students from Kansas State were there to help us through all that. And then when they walked in and looked around, it was evident to them that it was a different kind of thing. And we learned a lot from the people. The people learned a lot from us. It was really encouraging. It was really uplifting to realize that with a little bit of education, people can catch on to this thing.
Right.
So it was real positive.
Yeah, good. And
Yeah.
when you learn about like the hazardous materials that go into, like normal construction now in the
Yes.
US, and
Yes.
thinking about like what sort of environmental toxins a hempcrete house replaces, right? So then
Yes.
you're moving into a house that's not off gassing. It's not, just like filling your rooms with carcinogens that you can't, smell, taste, or feel, but they're there. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we are on that sort of, threshold into the new paradigm, right? At least I hope we are.
Well, that's what we believe anyway. That's why we're serious about this and created a business. The whole idea of hemp sucking carbon out of the air, becoming a negative carbon environment inside of a home,
Mm-hmm.
or being used because of the foam that they spray now for insulation is just really completely chemical. So spraying hemp insulation into a home, a whole different world, not only for the workers, but for the people who own the home as well.
Yep. Yep.
And being in the mold business, it will put me out of business someday, which I'm okay with because I hope the hemp will replace that.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I think it's very dynamic. And the more people we talk to, the more people seem to come to understand it and get behind it.
Yeah. And I guess there's a few hurdles in the way before it becomes ubiquitous. And some
Yep.
of those are being worked on now, and that's getting Hempcrete
Mhm.
building into the codes. I know
Right.
there was just some news last week about, it's actually in the printed book now for the IRC codes, I think.
Insulation wise, it's in.
Okay.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we in Jersey can use it as insulation right now.
That's great. Yeah. And then the other thing is, the price has to come down. Like
Yes.
like for me as like, just average, consumer, it would be really expensive for me to go out right now and build a hemp house, even
Yes.
though I really want to live in a hemp house. Yeah.
Down here at the coast in Jersey, we build homes that are pretty expensive. Anytime you build on the water.
Yeah.
So Long Beach Island, as you say, you know about it. It's got 15 miles of ocean front, 15 miles of bayfront. Every home is a multi-million-dollar home. So incorporating it into homes where people have money to spend is more doable right now.
Yeah.
Until we spend a lot more time and energy education wise and bringing it into the mainstream market. Yes, it's going to take a while for the masses to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But at least right now, for us in the area that we are in, it is doable. Once it becomes code, okay, once the codes accept everything. But right now, the insulation is definitely doable because it is in the code. And we're going to be doing a workshop in the near future to present that to the builders in our areas so they can understand it.
Cool. Yeah. We'll talk about the workshop in a little bit. Getting back to the casita,
Yeah.
do you know where they sourced the herd for that project?
Where Michael got it from, I think it was Aaron and Melissa in South Bend, Kansas.
South Bend Industrial
Yeah.
Hemp. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where it came from.
That makes
Or,
sense.
or did it come from Sarah? So, and where's her place?
Sarah Stevens in Nebraska.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she's
Oh, she's
also
in
in Kansas.
Kansas too.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Sarah gave us the herd for that.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, there's a lot of neat things happening there in Kansas.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
We like it there.
Yeah, I took a trip out there. We did a road trip back in the summer of 21, and we stopped in at the Baldwin's farm there in South Bend. So yeah, good folks out there. So you said you were a teacher and a coach. I know this is not related to hemp at all, but what was your subject and what was your sport?
So when I was in college in the 70s, I got my degree in philosophy and my minor in theater and dance.
All right.
So I've been a choreographer for a really long time. Um, so my sport is actually a thing called drum and bugle corps. Drum and bugle corps is like a big marching band, only it's not associated with schools. It's independent. It's a national activity. It's 150 kids getting together, rehearsing through the winter, going out on the road in the summer, traveling from stadium to stadium, performing in a contest. So I started doing that when I was 9 years old. So by the time I got out of college, I started then teaching that. And now my title is performance coach.
Okay.
I work for an organization out of New Hampshire. So I coach young people on how to present themselves, primarily in life, but particularly in drum and bugle corps or marching band type stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a little niche thing, but I grew up in it and I love doing it. And teaching kids is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And if I could jump over to one of the reasons why we're doing Right Coast Hemp. So Kristen, my friend and partner in this, is a founder of an organization called Hearts of Mercy, which is a nonprofit organization that we run. A few years ago, she gave me the opportunity to be the president of the board, so that's what I do now. And we take young children, grammar school primarily, sometimes high school, underserved kids in an economical environment that isn't great, and we tutor them, we give them mentoring, we do sports, art camps, music camps throughout the course of the year.
Cool.
And for a long time, to fund a nonprofit, you typically obviously have to raise money. And so a couple years ago, I went through the whole golf tournament thing and being the president of the board, having to go out and pitch for money. And I said to Kristen, I said, you know what? It would be real nice, because I've been a businessman most of my life. I said, why don't we just start a business that the income from the business will be sustainable and go right to the nonprofit, so we don't have to go bang on doors and beg people for money. So she said she thought that was a good idea. And her family comes from Kansas. They have a few thousand acres of farmland in Kansas. So when she was looking into my thought, she came and presented the farming industry to me and the hemp thing that went along with that. So our Right Coast Hemp business is really solely about raising money so we can fund Hearts of Mercy.
Okay.
It's not a personal business for us.
Okay.
It's a sustainable income for the nonprofit. So that's why we're in the business. That's why we started the business. And we hope that in the next couple of years, we will be able to bring enough money in to do just that. It's not a big nonprofit. It's pretty much grassroots. So our budgets aren't really large.
Yeah.
So we hope that soon this endeavor with Right Coast Hemp can be the funding for the nonprofit.
Awesome. So
yeah,
it's a mission-driven endeavor.
Yeah, we love kids. We like being around them. They keep us young.
Yeah.
And these kids are wonderful kids that if we weren't doing what we were for them, they wouldn't do it, man. I mean, they couldn't afford going to camps and having tutors and stuff like that. So it's all free to them. And we have an amazing group of volunteers that work with us, about 20 or so, and mostly retired teachers and educators, which is cool. Yeah, so that's one of the ways that we try to use this hemp in our life to pass on to the younger people an opportunity.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good when your job and your work has like a larger purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's great to hear. And you said Hearts of Mercy?
Hearts of Mercy is the name of the nonprofit. Yeah.
Okay, I'll put a link up to that on the show page for the episode, but is it heartsofmercy.org, or what's the URL for that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Cool. I'll put a link up to Right Coast Hemp as well.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
I'll put a link up to the event page for the Hempcrete workshop that you're hosting down there in Manahawkin I guess it starts the evening of May 10th, and then there's 2 full days on the 11th and 12th. So why don't you tell us hands-on. So yeah, tell me about that.
Well, again, wanting to focus on education this year as a business, and Kristen, once again, knowing everybody in the hemp industry around the world, it seems, because she loves talking to people. We had come across a fella in Dodge City, Kansas, that we worked with last year, Angel Ramirez, who's in the hemp building business, and another friend up in Vermont, Tom
Ross Mosler, something like that?
Yeah, that's it. Both of those guys are coming in for that weekend. Friday night is going to be a meet and greet at our office here, just to get everybody to know each other and to lay out the weekend. And then Saturday and Sunday from like 9 to 5 is going to be hands-on with Hempcrete and hemp insulation and building and education. So it's going to be one of 4 workshops we do this year. And we're really looking forward to turning on, again, the builders, the building officials in our area, bringing people in to educate them so that as time goes on here in New Jersey, we can get this product out there into the world.
Yeah, that sounds great. And you've got some other instructors coming in to help. I'm pretty sure Cameron McIntosh is going to be involved in this one?
think we're going to do one of the next ones with Cameron.
Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right.
This one is just Tom and Angel.
Okay.
And then we're going to go, we're going to bring Cameron in, and then we're going out to your neck of the woods next month to visit with him and learn more about his business, and maybe even get in business with him and bring that machine to New Jersey, to the spray machine.
The E-Reezy spray apply machine. Yeah, that thing's amazing.
It is.
So yeah,
he's
hosting a workshop there, I guess the end of April. Is that what you're talking about?
No, we're going to go visit him next week one-on-one.
Nice. Oh, cool.
And then we'll probably go back to that workshop.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I've sat through a few of those workshops, not actually building the hemp, but kind of fly on the wall. But yeah, actually, we built these panels here behind me up at his shop.
Yeah, that's what you said. They look great too, man.
Yeah, thanks. All right. Well, what else do you want to tell us about either Right Coast Hemp or the workshop or Hearts of Mercy?
Well, the workshop is our first workshop, so we're hoping to get about 20 people. So if hopefully people will hear about that through you as well. And we believe it'll be fun. Saturday night, we're doing a barbecue. I have a barn out in the woods that I have, and we're going to do a full-blown barbecue Saturday night. Friday night will be meet and greet here, and then Sunday we're going to end at 4. It's Mother's Day. People get home. But yeah, promoting that is our big issue right now.
Okay.
And as far as Right Coast Hemp, we're just really looking forward to. We're going out to NOCO in April, up to Estes Park in Colorado. I used to live around there, so I'm looking forward to get back to the mountains.
Nice.
And then the rest of the year, we just really are looking forward to growing. We have 10 acres this year to grow in New Jersey and continue to educate people.
Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Well, Mike Mercadante, it is great to meet you and talk to you. And thank you so much. I wish you great success, and I'm sure I'll see you at some of these workshops. I'll definitely see you out in Estes Park in a few weeks.
Great, man. Looking forward to seeing you. Thanks so much for having us.
All right, there you go. You can learn more about Right Coast Hemp and their Hempcrete workshop on the show page for this episode at lancasterfarming.com. Thanks for listening to this special episode. We'll be back in just a few days with a normal episode. Going to be talking to Ken Meyer from Complete Hemp Processing in South Dakota. My name is Eric Herlock. I'm the senior digital editor here at Lancaster Farming Newspaper. the greatest agricultural newspaper in the world. Check us out online at lancasterfarming.com. Sign up for our newsletters. Get yourself a subscription to our print edition. It comes out every Saturday. It will change your life. Okay, what else? That's it. All right, until next time, I'll see you in the newspaper. This special bonus episode of the Lancaster Farming Industrial Hemp Podcast is copyright 2024 by Lancaster Farming Newspaper, part of the Steinman Communications family. Today's show is written and recorded and edited and produced by me, Eric Herlock, with production help from Matt Lee. The music you hear throughout the show is courtesy of Tin Bird Shadow.
Industrial hemp.